All right, we got something special for you this morning. For 25 years, he dined in disguise and critiqued Washington's food scene with an anonymous bite. And now, longtime Washington Post food critic Tom Sietsema is hanging up his notepad and his cloak of secrecy. And this morning, he joins us live to reflect on his career, what's next, and why he's finally revealing the face behind the fork. Tom, good morning and
Hey, good morning.
congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you here. I mean, you're basically a DC legend at this point, and so many people excited to finally see the man behind all those food reviews. So tell me, after all these years behind the scenes, how does it feel to finally step into the spotlight and show people who you are?
You know what? Actually, it feels really liberating. I am so excited to be out and about and actually talk to the many people who have fed me so well over the years. I'm extremely lucky. And I went to a party. Patrick O'Connell at the Inn of Little Washington last night celebrated 80 years, and I could be in pictures for the first time. So if I look a little bleary this morning, I was up late.
But you had a good night, I'm sure. I have to tell you a story, Tom. I started coming to DC years ago with my husband, and we went out to a restaurant and we asked about good restaurants in the area. And the waiter told us to read your reviews to find out the best
Oh.
restaurants in the area. So what does that feel like to, be on the DC food scene for so long and be a legend here locally?
Well, you know what? It's really lovely. I feel like I have this big family out there. A lot of people of whom who I haven't met yet. But we correspond. I did this weekly chat for 25 years, where people from all over the world, really, could weigh in with their questions and talk to me. And I feel like hopefully I've sent people to some really good places to eat and maybe steered them away from lesser places. And I'd like to think that I hopefully, made Washington a little bit better place to dine, But that's all up to diners, really, and creative chefs. And my hat's off to them for making DC, putting DC on the map. It's really one of the best food cities in the country.
It really is. I've been to so many delicious restaurants here. So let's talk about that. Talk about some of your best bites over the years and most memorable experiences. I was reading so much about you, and you've had some very interesting experiences over the years.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite recent ones, I got into the CIA, the Central Intelligence Community, not the culinary school, to review their restaurant. And that was great fun. It was probably the hardest assignment I've ever had because it's really challenging to get a reservation there. And obviously, I couldn't bring in any electronics to record anything. They assigned a CIA photographer, so I knew what the food looked like, or we could use pictures and everything. That was memorable. People often think like, oh, fancy places. I've eaten all over the world, and it's been great. But I think one of the places that really felt impactful for me was when I went to Miriam's Kitchen and reviewed that. I stood in line with the other people who are waiting for their free meal, and I loved the way that they treated everyone as a guest, as anyone would be treated in a restaurant, and the restaurant quality of the food I had. And like any other restaurant, I went several times to review Miriam's Kitchen, and that was so great to me. I love that.
Can you talk to me a little bit about your dishwashing experiences too? I know you've done that over your career as well.
Yeah, I went undercover in Houston a number of years ago and worked a shift in a 400-seat Mexican restaurant. And I love that because I realized how hard it is, how dangerous it is. I mean, water splashing everywhere, sharp knives, heat, and we all had to wear hefty trash bags because all this stuff was being splattered on us all the time. It's a really grueling job, but what I loved about it, it's also an entry into the workforce in the United States. And I saw these people working really hard to get into a business. And what happens then is that they see what else is going around in the kitchen there, right? Pastry chef might need help, or the sous chef might need help, and they learn the ropes that way. And I talked to a number of famous chefs who started out as dishwashers and laud them because guess what? If you don't have dishwashers, you don't open the restaurant.
You have just had such a career, quite the career, and so many different experiences around the world. I mean, that's just wild to me. And you've dined all around the world and done things like dishwashing. I know you can also cook, but for a second, let's talk about some of those bad experiences that you've had in some of these restaurants. How do you, in the past, how have you been able to power through those moments? And, you know, is there any feeling bad when you do this? Because I know when I was reading about you, you did mention, you know that these restaurants, people's careers are at stake. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I always say that critics don't close restaurants. Bad food does, or bad no, hospitality, poor hospitality does. Of course, I've always taken into consideration these are people's livelihoods, but I'm looking out for the average diner, right? And I want him or her to have a really good meal and spend their money wisely, right? Is this restaurant of value? Is it fun? What purpose does it serve? Who would you take here? What would you eat, right? So, I didn't go out of my way to write bad places, but if I saw a place that was poorly run and in a prime location or had a celebrity chef behind it or some such, I uh, I I was not afraid of letting readers know how I felt about it.
Well, congratulations to you, Tom. Real quick, we have to let you go. We ran out of time, but can you just give us a couple of recommendations for DMV diners right now?
Yeah, Chicatana, a great Mexican restaurant on 14th Street. Bon May for Laotian and Shaw, Columbia Heights rather. And where else? Where else? White Oak Tavern in Frederick. And oh my God, it's such a great place right now in Northern Virginia. Everything in my dining guide, which comes out tomorrow in Northern Virginia, is delicious. Nue, elegantly Vietnamese, for instance, in Falls Church. Do it. Sit at the bar.
I love how excited you are about food. Thank you so much for taking the time with us this morning. I'm taking out my notepad and writing down all of those recommendations. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Tom.
for having me.